All right, welcome back to another episode of Stronger Than Yesterday. Today, we actually talk about life in Brazil. So, it's not something about fitness, neither about nutrition, not about exercising and working out. Today, we're going to talk about, again, my life here in Brazil. And the reason for that is so often people ask me, Martin, how is it? And how does it compare to life in Switzerland? And I feel like there's so much to tell and so much information that I almost cannot answer this question in one sentence. So I brought Danilo here, who was 2 times on the podcast already.
Yep.
Happy to have you back.
Thank you very much. Hello, guys. This is my third time here, second time as a host, so it's always a pleasure. This was my first podcast ever in my life. After this one, I had a few already, so it brought me luck. Thank you very much. And as I'll be the host, I prepared 30 questions and a little bit more. I have a few surprise questions. Let's see the time, if it's going to work. And that's it.
Yeah.
Let's start.
Yeah, the thing was really like, I didn't want to write something down or prepare a full podcast and just talk about how I perceive this country. More so, I said, man, Danilo, can you write down some questions and please don't show them to me? And then we're just going to have a good time here and talk about my experience in Brazil. One thing I want to say before we start, everything I say here is just like my opinion and how I perceive this country and like how I see things, because someone else can probably be here, another Swiss could be here, living in another part of the country and have a completely different opinion about things, right? More so when I was in Switzerland, for example, I lived in Hergiswil, which is like a very small village. Here, I'm in South Campus, which is like a, 1 million city. Yeah. So it's very, very different. And it's very hard to compare those two. So I just wanted to say this once again, it's my experience. I also did this when we were in Thailand. I tried to compare Switzerland to Thailand. And with that being said, let's dive in.
All right.
Questions.
The good thing is, as I know Martin a lot, I know a few things that he already thinks about Brazil, good and bad. And I prepared a few questions minding that. And the first one is, I don't know if all your audience knows, but why did you come to Brazil? Why Brazil?
Yeah. So it's a long story, but long story short, I met a Brazilian when I was in Australia and we fell in love.
Yeah, there was a lady, just to be clear, a Brazilian lady.
We had a long distance relationship. She visited me in Switzerland, first time snow and everything. Then I went to Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, for the first time ever. Had a really good time there. Went back to Switzerland, and we tried to keep that relationship up. A few months later, I received a call. She said, we're pregnant, right? And so I had to make a decision. What's next? Will she come to Switzerland? Am I going to Brazil? How do we do it with job and, education? And like, it was a lot, right? At the end, I decided, okay, I'm going to go to Brazil. It was not something that I planned, but that was the reason. The first time I came to Brazil was actually just a few weeks before my daughter was born. And yeah, imagine the situation. You go to another country, you don't know the language. You don't know anyone other than your girlfriend that you maybe saw 4 weeks in total. You need to organize a visa, an apartment, and car, and the job situation. And you want to work out, and then you have the baby. And the first time you actually live together. And it was a lot. It was a lot. But this is basically how it started, how I went from Switzerland to Brazil.
Yeah, and I can imagine how tough it was. I've been to other countries and I was alone, and I was not in this situation. It was already a bit overwhelming, so can't even compare.
Definitely overwhelming.
Yeah. And diving in on that, what was your first cultural shock when you first arrived in Brazil? Could be either when you first came here to Rio, or maybe later when you came to San Jose dos Campos.
Um, for me, what was very different from my life in Switzerland were like the family gatherings or how close families are. Like an example, in Switzerland, I see my family, and I'm not talking about my sister and my parents, but maybe my Chia, my aunt, maybe twice a year, something like that. And we all come together, and it's a huge event, and everyone has a good time, and then that's it. It's like, okay, was good, and after that, all right, you have your own life and everything, all right. There's no hate, nothing like that, but it's just like how things are, different life, and you see each other, and that's it. And then here, like, again, I don't know whether every family is like that, but with the family of my ex-partner was like that you would basically meet each other almost every weekend. And so it was almost clear, like every weekend you would go to someone's place and sit together and have churrasco and then just be together. And this was for me very, very special slash something I had to get used to slash something that I didn't necessarily like, because I'm, to everyone's surprise, very much an introvert. I need my space. I need my own time. I need to be alone. And then if you work from Monday to Friday and should be at such a family gathering from Friday to Sunday, like your social battery is just like that. So this is certainly something that I had a hard time. Yeah.
And also, it was not your family. Maybe would have been different if you started doing this with your family. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, just the thing is, like, I couldn't speak the language very well, so yeah. you're with a bunch of people, and you cannot really communicate with them.
That speaks very loudly.
Yeah, so that's very difficult. That's very difficult. You cannot really connect, because how? Like, people usually don't speak English or not that well, and I couldn't speak Portuguese, so that was so difficult. But I have to say, even if it was my family, even my close family, I love my family, and like if we go together for dinner on a Sunday evening, super cool. But also after that, I need my own space. Again, I'm an introvert. Like I had to learn how to be extrovert. And I'm doing, the Instagram and the YouTube and podcasting, and I can talk TikTok. To people. I can't connect to people very well. But then again, I also need my time just to be myself and to be in my own thoughts.
Recharge the social battery. Yeah, and in Brazil, we have this tendency. The first degree relatives, our lives are very intertwined. I don't know if you remember, but when we went to the beach at my place, I had like 2 aunts, maybe an uncle, I don't remember anymore. But yeah, that's every weekend. That's normal.
But you don't have it because you're living far away from your parents, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But if you think back, well, like your childhood, would you
all
have
the time,
all the time,
all the time,
right?
Yeah. Right. So, which stereotypes from Brazilians turned out to be actually true, and stereotypes that are not actually true, that you thought something and is actually not?
2 things come to mind. So, which is true is like this huge body culture, right? Because if we, the Europeans, think of a Brazilian woman especially, it's just like curves and it is literally like that. Go to Rio de Janeiro at the beach and something for the eye, right?
Yeah.
Like I think the plastic surgeries are, I think Brazil is number 1 if I'm not mistaken, or number 1. 2.
And like statistical procedures, Brazil is the first.
Like procedures, and this is definitely true. And I even found out that it's not only the woman, also the man who do like the harmonization, like that the head looks more square, and a lot of those treatments. I'm not saying they're bad, good. It's just something I wasn't used to. Like it's literally, or even like you can go to a doctor and say you want a 6-pack. Like
yes, yes, you can do that.
It's absolutely wild. So this yeah, is something that is very true. Also, when we since we talk about that in Switzerland, like you're already fit when you work out 3 times a week. That's actually a goal of many people. Work out 3 times a week. And here, like the standards are much higher. Like I know so many people who work out 5 or more times a week, right? Which is equal to 3 in Switzerland. Like the reasons are obviously a bit different. There is more for just general health, and here's more about aesthetics, how you look. But yeah, this turned out to be true. And then the other one, you would think, or I thought, like it will be super super easy to make friends. Everyone's like, people in Brazil are very open, very friendly. Um, and I mean, to be honest, like in every country I ever lived in, all right. So I was like on I literally lived on 5 continents at this point, and it was always I go to the gym and I make friends so easily. I remember, for example, in United States, I would go to the gym, would make a friend, and like a week later, I would actually live with him, like in the same apartment, because I was looking for a room. He had a room, so I would be living with him. And then here, this was not the case, and I think one reason is because I couldn't speak the language, and then also because gym is not necessarily a place where you socialize, and because I spend well my time at work and then in the gym, and then that's probably it. I don't go to bars. I don't go to like, I don't know, networking events again because of the language. It was rather difficult. It was, even today it is difficult to connect and make friends.
I was thinking here, and I think I know the reason. It's because exactly what you said last. You don't drink, you don't go out. That's the thing. Because when you go out, when you go to a bar, man, there's a lot of gringos, of foreigners, and people love to talk to them. But at the gym is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially at our gym, people are like more, let's say, not really talkative.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if this was the only goal to make friends, I think I could make friends, or I could like connect, because like if I'm friends with someone, there needs to be some kind of connections, some kind of similar interests, or
Yeah.
like, you know, something to talk about. And if I just want to connect with other people, I could go to bars, I could go out, and I would probably find that. But again, it's like a certain type of person I want to have contact with, obviously, and this will not be at the bar, like drinking, you know, beer at midnight, because that's not my interest at all. So I cannot say they're cold. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, from what we hear, they're very open and very warm people. And maybe this is true, but like I also say, okay, it's
The
hard to
perspective,
make
yeah.
friends. It is hard to make friends. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Um, as you said, I think is a matter of experience as well, region, situation. So it's perspective. What everyday Brazilian habit do you still think sounds a bit strange?
Everyday Brazilian habit.
If there is something, actually. 20 showers a day.
That's so funny, by the way. Like, um, that's a question I get so often asked by Brazilians. They're like, "Is it true that we in Europe only shower like every other day, or like, you know, twice a week or something like that?" I was like, "Oh, I'm actually showering every day." Well, no, this is not true. Like, you're lying. I was like, I mean, I don't know where this comes from. Um, like every person I know from Switzerland showers once a day. I don't know like anyone who doesn't. Um, and then here it's a bit more often. I think in summer it makes sense to shower at least twice, because it's warm and you sweat a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is actually okay. Something that it's not so much like you know, something that you. All right, when you go to the bathroom, where do you put your toilet paper?
Yeah, that's horrible. I hate that, man. That's so Brazilian. Like we have a rubbish bin, a rubbish can just to put the toilet paper. That's horrible. I put it on the toilet actually. And
I hope
fuck the pipes. I don't care. I'm not gonna store shit.
The guy who owns my apartment, I hope he doesn't listen to that, but me too, I don't follow this rule because this is just weird. I don't know why it's not more smelly actually. To be honest,
Yeah.
They use like toilet paper like everyone else, and then they don't flush it, but they put it like in a bin.
Yeah,
and it just stays there.
And it keeps there for like 2-3 days. I don't know, man. I don't understand.
Like in public restrooms, like at home, like when you go to friends, when you go to your parents-in-law, it's like everywhere like that. And this I just refuse. Like, and sometimes I'm having a bit of conflict with my daughter because but daddy, you cannot put this, and sorry. Like, I'm Swiss. I'm doing it this way.
I was actually hoping that you'd say that because I completely disagree with the Brazilian this kind of tradition. I hate that.
Well, the reason is obviously, or I think that the pipes don't get clogged, or what's.
I mean, when you build the buildings, and sometimes you want to save it on pipes, you put smaller pipes, and that's it. But if you put the regular size pipes, this will never happen. And also, you can, like, say, parcel. You flush it once, then you flush it twice, and it's okay. Yeah, that's the basics. Right.
Moving on.
I was hoping that, yeah. Right. You are Swiss, and Swiss are known to be very sharp, very, very sharp with time, very punctual. And Brazilians, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to ask about your opinion. But what was the funniest or most frustrating experience you ever had with a Brazilian regarding time, regarding schedule, appointments?
There are like thousands, literally thousands at this point. And it started actually the very first week I came here. So what I did, even when I was in Switzerland, I looked for a co-working space here in Services Campus. And then I texted them on WhatsApp. This is, by the way, something we need to address as well, because people here, everyone is on social media, like doctors and like every professional is on social media, very well open about those things. This we don't know so much in Switzerland. Like I don't know dentists who show how they clean their clients' teeth. Like it doesn't happen that often here. Like everyone's very much into social media.
In Brazil is a must.
It's a must, right?
If you're not, you're dead.
Clients, yeah. Anyway, first week. So I said, okay, I need a co-working. Can I please come into your office? I'm gonna start at 7:00. And he said, yeah, you can come. Here's the address. Here are the prices. Okay. So I go there. Probably 6:30 because I'm Swiss. I'm arriving earlier, right? So I'm there. And no one shows up, like 7:15, 7:30. And I'm like, I need having a call, like, with my team, and I need Wi-Fi, and why is no one coming? So I texted her and just no response. And then it was literally 1.5 hours later when she arrived.
Oh man.
1 hour. And like not even a sorry, not even sorry I'm late. This is just how it went down. So, okay, and then she showed me the office.
Pretend it never happened.
Yeah, like very, very normal, right? So later on, I realized this is just like how people operate here. Unfortunately, also in a professional setting, that it's just like if you say 5:00, then it starts at 6. And I mean, it can be, or you need to get used to that when you go, somewhere with friends or your family, or it's just like how it is. But I think in a professional setting, this shouldn't be the norm. So this is a bit where I still have a lot of problems with. Like a example from from a party, like my daughter's friend hosted a party, and it started at 12. And I'm thinking, okay, this time I'm going at 12:10, so I'm not the first one. 10 minutes later, So I go there. There's just like nobody's there.
And you
Like,
waited for an
nobody's there.
hour.
And not even the parents or the dad of the birthday girl was there. He was still organizing some
Yeah.
meals or something. So yeah, an hour later they started to come in. But again, this is like in the private area, the social life. I think I have more of a problem when you have a problem at home. That the sink is clogged or whatnot, and you call someone and you make an appointment and they're just not showing up or coming way too late, or so many things. Even I had someone say, okay, is it okay if I come at 10 o'clock to I don't know what they did in my apartment. I had to check something. I said, yeah, sure, but it needs to be before 11 because afterwards I have podcasts and whatnot. And obviously they don't make it. Obviously they come in the middle of the podcasts and knocking at the door, and I'm on a podcast, and it's like that's very, very, very annoying. And if I always say, like, my mom, she would have such a hard time here because she's one of those. Again, if you say 5 o'clock, she's there at 4. And she calls you at 4:30. Hey, where are you? Like, she would have such a hard time. Like, here is like, so often, or it's just the norm, and you need to get used to. And it can be a date. It can be like it can be again something where in business, where people have the opportunity to make money because they need to fix something at my apartment, but they're just not showing up or coming way too late, and something I don't understand. It's obviously cultural. It's also something. It comes down to personality as well. It's not everyone like. I think with us it works pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, you were 2 minutes late on the gym today, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I was single, like to a girl to get some points with me, just be punctual. Just be ready at the time that we schedule, and that was already like she would stand out from the crowd because she would be punctual.
Because I usually say, okay, by the way, as you know, I'm Swiss, and we're very punctual. So please don't be. I actually.
You should do that all the time.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work. Like, people are still like late, but
and depending to who I'm talking to, and we schedule something, I don't know, and say, okay, 2 o'clock, and I always ask, 2 o'clock Brazil time or 2 o'clock Swiss time, because it's completely different.
Yeah,
right. Okay. So you answered basically 2-3 questions at once. That was good.
Yeah, let's quickly go back into this social media thing.
Yeah,
because like I think actually that Switzerland is there a bit behind, or maybe it's not needed that dentists have enough clients, and they are not so interested in getting new ones. But here's like, just I noticed that everyone is doing it. No matter what kind of business, they're very much into social media and trying to promote it on Instagram and doing stories, even live with clients. It's it's quite fascinating. It's quite fascinating. In the beginning, I was like, what's going on? Like, if I am the client, or if I go to a dentist, I don't like to be filmed now. But it's very normal that they just explain right there what they do.
It could be actually 2 things. One is that Switzerland is a bit behind on time on this matter, and who starts first will be years ahead, because
Yeah.
Or secondly is because the competition here is so high. Like, we have
I
way
think
more.
It's more this. I think
way
it's
more
that.
dentists than in Switzerland,
like,
proportionally.
Yeah. If I remember back in Switzerland, if I want to get an appointment at a dentist, you have like such a long waiting line. It's like, okay, 4 weeks from now you get an appointment. So I think it's more that there's not this specific need to actually promote them even more.
Just doing a test here, I just put dentist on Google Maps, and like there is probably 40, 50 around our place, like in 1 kilometer radius. So that's probably it.
And this is, by the way, still something I don't quite understand. So in Switzerland, I know I went to the dentist once a year to clean my teeth and to check whether everything is in check, and that's it. And then here you have almost like these subcategories, like, okay, you go to this dentist for if you need, what is it called,
Braces?
braces, right? You go to this dentist just to clean. You go to this dentist if you want the lenses.
Yeah, lenses. I don't know
Lenses.
if in English is this, but the way is you put something on your teeth to
Yeah,
make it
then
whiter.
you
And
have another dentist again for, like, it depends very much what you
yeah,
want.
they're
And then,
specialists.
yeah, specialists, and I wasn't aware of that until I came here.
Yeah.
And there is literally those, like, you go there. I did like one cleanup at the dentist, and I was actually thinking, am I right here? Because all she had was like this lying chair, and then just like some manual tools, and that's it. And how I remembered it from Switzerland is like there's like 3 machines, like this is on the I don't know what they are for, but in a very simple setup, because all she did was actually cleaning,
cleaning,
and
yeah.
then depending on what you need and want, you go to another one.
Yeah. It's very different. That's part of the aesthetics things as well, like in Brazil. Right. So, what do you think when a Brazilian texts you simply "Oi, tudo bem?" and doesn't say anything else? It's like, "Hey, how are you?" and doesn't say anything else.
So I know where we're going with this. I made a video on TikTok explaining how I got frustrated with people doing that. The conversation is usually so in English would be, hi, how are you? I'm fine, how are you? Like, and then we go on, right? And absolutely fine. The thing was, when you text someone on WhatsApp, a business, you have a question which could be, what is your opening hour? Like, when does the store open, or how much does it cost? And I wrote this down. My name is Martin, and that I'd like to know XYZ. And then comes back, oi, to the bomb. One day later, right? And then
No response.
I get, yeah, like no response. I thought, okay, I literally copied the same thing again, and then they responded, and you basically lose 2 days, which didn't make sense to me. I said, just like answer my question, please. Like, I get it in a casual setting. Obviously, you want to be friendly, and you start always this way. Oi, to the bomb. It's the bomb, I will say. Like,
Yeah.
it's very normal that you start the conversations almost. It's like the Americans. They're also, how are you? I'm fine. I'm you. Like, probably nobody cares. And to this point, I never heard someone saying, I'm not good.
Exactly.
So it's
That's
not
my
really their interest in their interest to know how we are. It's more like, just be polite.
Exactly.
Right?
It's not genuine.
It's not
And I mean, what if I say no? Would you stop?
They would probably just go on the same way.
You would ask anyway.
They
Just
would probably
go
just
and
go on.
ask already.
Yeah.
Like I get messages from business all the time. Like, "Oi, tudo bem?" I never respond because, man, I know that you don't want to know if I'm good or not.
Just come to the point.
Just
right?
come to the point.
Like, obviously, if you meet someone in personal, it's different. But yeah.
And also, I used to say like, I need to know what you want so I can say if I'm good or not.
Fair enough. There was some topic that you addressed before, and I wanted to dive in. I think what it was. I think it was this entire aesthetic thing. Yeah, because this is something that I noticed, and that I'm a bit bothered with. So, me coming to Brazil, me living here in São José campus, maybe in this well neighborhood where people actually have money, or pretend to have money, I don't know. You walk around and you see people with expensive shoes, well, like a gym, also a lot of on shoes, which, by the way, is the owners are Swiss and Brazilian.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you see a lot of people with like expensive shoes, expensive clothes. Everyone, I mean, for the girls, like a lot of surgeries, and trying to show like an expensive car if they can afford one. And perfect teeth, and like this was the first time of thinking, man, do I need those perfect teeth as well? It never came to mind before, but here in Brazil, it out of a sudden, because you see, man, like everyone has such perfect teeth, maybe you need them as well, right? And then if I can feel that as an adult, I don't want to know how it is if you're a teenager, maybe not the most beautiful, good-looking girl in school or guy, and now out of a sudden everyone around you like comes or does these surgeries, and probably, you know, I don't know, 18 is probably very common that girls do boobs. um how must I feel if you don't have the money or don't want it, or it's just like this peer pressure. So if I can feel that as an adult, I can only imagine how bad it must be for teenagers
Yeah.
when you're young.
Probably a huge cause for depression.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
You can see that that's more common on girls. You see that they're doing the surgeries for the breasts earlier and earlier. Like they don't even wait for the time of development, and they do it already.
And
A bit concerning, isn't it?
I think it's very concerning. I think there's nothing wrong about doing the surgery. I think it's wrong when you do something for the wrong reasons,
Yeah.
right? Like if you're actually not happy with your nose, or again, like if it's, I mean, as a matter of fact, like I would say 95% of women have here fake boobs. I would say. I don't know the number.
No, not 95, but it's
I
a
don't
huge
know, a
number.
lot.
Yeah.
So
In our bubble, yes.
So if you do it because you're not happy with how you look or whatever, I think totally fine, do it. But it's almost like people do it just because, again, the pressure, because everyone else does it, and that's the wrong reason in my opinion. And yeah, this is one thing that concerns me a little bit if I think of my daughter growing up here, like how to manage that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, concerning, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you think the first time you came to Brazil and someone that you just met tried to hug you and kiss you on the cheek, or was too much touchy, let's say?
I think I don't have a problem with that. I think it's more the awkwardness, not knowing how to react. I mean, it's also in Switzerland, you never know if you meet someone new. Do I give a handshake or give a one kiss on the cheek, or 2 or 3 kisses? And here's almost the same. So I have no idea what do I do. So hi. So yeah, like it's a little bit awkward. But I don't think I'm a huge hugger at all. I mean, so I like to have my distance a little bit. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Brazilians are too touchy. That's normal actually. And if you go from region to region, so if you go to Recife or to Rio, for example, it's 2 kisses on the cheek. If you come here to São Paulo, it's just 1.
So, but how should you know? Like,
you don't know. First time I came here, I'm from Recife, and I was 1 kiss. On the second one, I was in vacuum because the person went away.
I need to tell a story at this point. It's totally unrelated, but it came just to mind when I said, how should I know? The first year, I don't know whether you know that, the first year when I was here and I bought a car and I drove the car for 1 year. And then one day I received multas,
tickets.
And I received in total 18 tickets.
18
tickets.
What did you do?
So 18 in 1 year. And the thing is, like, I didn't think like speeding cameras were a thing, because I'm like, yo, we're in Brazil. Brazil
doesn't work.
Like, I thought that, I don't know, maybe from Thailand, because there's a little bit, Thailand also they have rules, but like following the rules is another thing, right? And actually checking who follows the rules, again, like
so
law
they
enforcement
don't waste time,
yeah, whatever. And here, I mean, the thing is, you can probably smoke weed and the police will not say anything. So I thought, we're in Brazil, so like, drive. Yeah. Anyway, so speeding tickets were a few, but then, and this is like almost a bit stupid. I didn't know that on certain days of the week you cannot drive to Sao Paulo with the car. So here we have specific rules. You need to check your plate number, and then when it ends with a 2, for example, then you cannot drive on Thursday or Friday or whatever. So
Like a specific time. Yeah.
And I had no idea. So every time we would like every weekend drive to Sao Paulo to one of those family events, and nobody would tell me that I cannot. Like, I didn't even know it is a thing, right? So also very funny. I had an 18 points, and here you have like the point system, meaning the more, or like if you have a certain amount of points, you lose the driving license.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I only have my Swiss driving license, and I'm not registered here in Brazil.
Yeah, so nothing happens.
I cannot. Well, I get the points, but I don't have like this account to put the points on. So we had to find a way to give people the points.
Oh, really?
Like, here's like a.
Oh shit!
Here 2 points. How much do you have? Okay, here 2.
I thought actually that nothing would happen and you wouldn't have to distribute the points.
I mean, someone needs to be driving, and what? Yeah.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah,
good to know. All right. Let me think here. Good one. Right, that's a good one. When you first arrived here in Brazil, what did you feel in terms of public safety? Did you have any shock?
Oh yeah.
And how do you compare it to Switzerland?
In the beginning, I probably didn't care that much. I thought everyone is exaggerating with those, safety. Like, cannot be that bad. I mean, yeah. But then you are on the playground, on a public playground, and I remember being there with Lara. She was like 1 or 2 years old, and after a sudden come like 7 policemen, like in like totally like armed, right? And they looked ready to go. This scared me a little bit. And then, I mean, you see police everywhere, which gives you some kind of safety feeling, but at the same time, you also know, okay, it's probably not that safe because things happen here, right? In Sao Paulo, in the city, for example, I think even as a man, you need to be very, very careful, especially at night. Like, never, like, people always told me, okay, be careful. Also, don't take your mobile phone out because it gets stolen. Until now, nothing ever happened to me, and I'm not that careful. I oftentimes, check where I need to walk to and respond to messages. But A, you hear these crazy stories. B, there's like this TV channel. Is it Globo? I don't know, where there's just like entire day crimes from Sao Paulo.
No, it's not Globo, but there is, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just so scary. Like, it's so scary. Like, you see, okay, here got someone shot, or here got someone robbed, and then here's
raped.
It's absolutely, and this is like happens on a day. I remember one time they were filming. It was the police going into a favela, and they said they kidnapped a person. So they were going into the favela, and they were filming live, and they started shooting. And this came live on TV. They started shooting in the favela, and this like I was just shocked. That, like,
yeah,
really,
it's very tough here.
I think here where we live in this city, which is how do you call it? Interior Sao Paulo. So like Sao Paulo city, and then we're outside. There's another city actually.
Yeah. Because here in Brazil, we have the states and the cities, like in the US.
Yeah.
And a few states, São Paulo and Rio. It's like New York. You have New York and New York City, And we live on a city called São José dos Campos, which is like 1 hour and a half from São Paulo city.
Yeah, so I think here very safe. Sao Paulo probably not so much. What I don't like anywhere is, I mean, in Switzerland you send children to school by their own
alone.
6 years old, totally fine. go to your scooter, there is school, go. And here, you cannot do that. You cannot do that.
Yeah.
Everyone is like driving their children to school. Like one school we had, like a kindergarten was actually, you drive there by car. Then you have like this line of cars. So the first car drops off their child, and then the next car drops off the child, and then when they pick the kids up, it's the same, like this line.
Exactly.
And then they're calling the child,
On the microphone.
on the microphone, and then it takes like 10 minutes until the child arrives.
Yeah.
And then the next one, and you're there in line thinking, man, you're just wasting like 30 minutes. I'm exaggerating, but yeah, like it's far from optimal.
And it was like that since I was a kid, actually. Exactly like this.
But again, the other way, like there's no alternative. You cannot,
Yeah.
even from the distance,
For
you
safety.
cannot walk to school, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are schools around here, but yours is better. Actually.
Yeah. What I usually do, or sometimes do, actually always do, I take a Uber to school, drop Lara there, and then I walk back. So I get my 5,000 steps in already. So it's like
that's
pretty
good.
cool. Yeah.
Right, okay, enough about the complaints. Let's talk about what makes Brazil special and why people would fall in love with the country. If you could eat only one Brazilian dish for the rest of your life, what would it be? And why?
Okay, food is actually pretty good. Is pretty good. I like, if you're a meat eater, then you're having a good time here. Like, I also noticed in Switzerland, I know a lot of vegetarians, vegans, or people who now eat meat again or eat fish again. Like, funny enough, and here is like, I don't think I've met, or very few, that are vegan or vegetarian. So they eat a lot of meat, and I like meat very much. So I think it would be churrasco.
Yeah,
and like this typical restaurants where you sit, and then they come to your table and they give you different kind of meat that's just like amazing.
All you can eat. That's called rodizio.
As much as you want, and they also have like a buffet with like side dishes, and that's like just like really amazing. I love that. They also have a lot of Japanese restaurants. I think here in Brazil they have like the second most Japanese. Right?
I didn't know, actually.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, people
like,
love it here.
There's a lot of Japanese people who came here. I mean, even the park here with like the Japanese
monument.
Monument. And I mean, look around. A lot of people look actually Japanese or are Japanese or half Japanese.
And it became a thing, a very huge thing, the sushi here.
Yeah, and I mean, it's amazing. Like, they obviously have their own variation of sushi, just like they have their own variation of pizza, like pizza with like dulce de leche, with brownie, with like M&Ms, like sweet pizza. And they're the same with sushi with like banana fried in with Nutella on top, and that's sushi for them. Like,
exactly.
It's hilarious, but it's also very good. It's really, really good.
I keep thinking about the Italian people, like an old school Italian guy would like die in Brazil if he saw the pizzas that we do,
or the typical
Japanese.
I mean, typical Italian pizza, like crispy, very thin, and you can probably easily eat an entire pizza because it's so thin.
Exactly.
And here, like it's almost like this New York pizza style, like a lot of layers, a lot of different cheese and layers and toppings, and very different.
Good. Which Brazilian landscape left you completely speechless on the first time you saw it?
There is this island called Fernando de Noronha.
I knew it.
And this is very, very nice to see. It's an island where they control how many cars there are on. So if you live there and want to buy a car, another car needs to go away from the island.
You need to buy a license.
It's all controlled. And there's so I mean, I don't know whether I would want to live there, but for a holiday, It's very, very beautiful because it's just nature. You can go out. I remember we went out with a kayak in the morning, and then an hour later, we would have like, I don't know how many, like 50 dolphins next to us, literally next to us, 1 meter. So you're in a kayak on sea level, and you have like here dolphins, there dolphins jumping, and it's so beautiful. You also see sharks. You can actually be at the beach, and you see like the sharks. Like
Yes.
this was very scary for me. Because yeah, I don't like sharks. I'm very afraid of sharks. And then you see like all this, coming out from the ocean. That was a bit scary, but it's like a super nice experience. Like if you like nature, probably if you like diving, even better.
Yeah.
I'm just too afraid of that. I snorkeled a little bit, but then I had an anxiety attack almost, where I think I hit a stone and I thought it's a shark, and then I just went out. I said, no, I'm good.
Yeah. I remember you were so afraid of sharks. Last time we went to the beach. Oh my god.
But to be fair, we were in Recife, or close to Recife, and there are actually a lot of sharks, and
but not there.
There are like
not there.
Yeah.
The current goes on the other direction. Actually.
Yeah. So this is a very beautiful place, and then the other one was Xalapao, was also quite interesting. You have like something that I've never seen before. You have like these small little ponds, like little lakes, and if you go in, like there's pressure from underneath, so you can basically just lay on the water, and you will not go under. Like it's almost impossible to dive. You can try to dive with all your strength, but it's not possible because there's pressure. I still don't know exactly how it works, but this was something very nice to experience, just because I've never seen that. I didn't even know like this exists.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What's the name of those?
I don't know.
Fervedero.
Yeah, something like Fervedoro. Yeah. It is warm water, actually. It's good. What's one small Brazilian habit or detail in the daily life that you actually really like and is different from Switzerland?
I'm not sure, because like I'm gonna be very honest. I'm trying to keep my routine. I'm trying to do things how I like them. It's not necessarily the Swiss way or how other people do it in Switzerland. I'm just like to have my routine, and I do it wherever I go, whether I'm Thailand, whether I'm Switzerland, whether I'm in America. I just like to have my routine. I think something that is different and worth explaining is that the schedule of the meals are very different here to Switzerland. In Switzerland, usually is like 6 p.m. is dinner time. There are some people who have like at 7, 7:30, but then here you have like at 5 o'clock usually cafe, né? And then you have like coffee with maybe some I don't know, bolo, maybe some cake.
Yeah, there's a cake.
And then dinner is
8
whenever, like 8 is probably still early here, no? Like,
it depends on the person, actually.
I remember like this family gathering, sometimes at 10, sometimes at 11.
Dear God.
Sometimes later. Like you just don't know. And I just like to have some structure, and I like to plan my day. So that's about that.
All right. Do you think Brazilians really live more in the moment, let's say, than the Europeans? And do you have any example of this that you saw that really drove your attention?
I think for some reason they have the ability to shut off, or maybe be ignorant in a sense of, in Switzerland, people like to take their problems with them, and they work a lot. So, and even when they go to bed, they're still thinking of the problem at work. Weekends, they're still thinking about the problem. And here is definitely more, people can shut off and they can be more in the moment. They're not thinking too much about tomorrow, I guess. Whereas 11 o'clock, okay, I need to sleep because I want to get up in the morning and I have this things to do. and I want to be fit. I don't want to be sleepy when I do those. And this I never heard really about the Brazilian saying. It's just like, oh, whatever. Like, go to bed late is not a problem. I don't know exactly how they do it, and I don't know which one is better. You know,
It's just different.
it's just different. I mean, I would say Swiss people can probably have a little bit more of that spontaneity or of this, joy. Even I saw like yesterday, someone who lives in Brazil. He's actually American. He went to Switzerland to visit his brother, and he made an Instagram post saying everything works so well. Everyone is always on time, and public transportation works so well. Everything's so beautiful and clean, but people don't really seem to be happy. And I felt this a little bit as well. Like, I think it's more of a working culture where you almost define yourself with what you do instead of who you really are. It's like, okay, can you explain yourself, or introduce yourself quickly? It usually starts with, okay, what do you do for a living? What is your job title, right? And yeah, it's just very work orientated, I would say. I mean, there's a reason why economy in Switzerland is pretty good and why the standard is really good. But then again,
there's a cost.
Like, I mean, it makes sense. You cannot just hang around and have party and be happy and like drink every evening, and then at the same time think everything just works and like business flourish. It doesn't make sense. So there's probably something in between that would be optimal. I don't know, but yeah, what I learned is Brazilians, they always have a reason to celebrate. They always find something. Could be, what could it be? I don't know. It could be anything. Like,
I mean, we have a holiday every other day. Every month we have at least one holiday. It's insane. Carnival, São João, Easter. Let's see. We have pre-carnival. We have after carnival.
Yeah, there's just something to celebrate always, literally every weekend. And if there's nothing, then they make something up. So
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good strategy of the government for the people to forget about the problems the country has. But that's another topic.
Yeah, people have other problems here. I think this, we can address here as well. Like, there are people who at the middle of the month say, hey, I need to be careful because money is running out. And this is something that I don't hear in Switzerland. I never heard like serious money problems. And it's not only, like, it's a common thing. Like, how people deal with finances is a bit scary. People have like 4 credit cards and they max them out. They don't pay them back on time. Sometimes I heard one saying, okay, I will never pay it back because after like 3 or 4 years, the bank will not even ask for that money anymore.
Yeah, prescribes.
So just like
5 years.
Just open a new credit card and that's it. I think also living in Brazil for Brazilians is rather expensive. People always say, okay, they think. I thought that Brazil is rather inexpensive, cheap, but I don't think so. I really don't think it's inexpensive for a Brazilian. If I compare the average salary, what is the average salary in the rest?
Average salary, I will say the minimum salary, which is around 1,500, a little bit less than that.
So 1,500, what is that? It's like 2,000. 1,500.
1,500, yeah, 1,500.
Yeah, that's
there's nothing.
That's not 2,000. That's 200.
Yeah, exactly. That's a minimum wage, right? And that's impossible to live with that.
There's like, I don't know.
I can Google here the average,
like many times, I would think, how do they survive here? How do they survive? So I know people who earn like 7 to 10,000 reais, which is probably, I mean, it's like 8 times more than the no six times
5
more.
times, yeah.
5 times. Okay, the minimum salary, which would be okay, but then you see how much you spend, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm having a very small apartment, a really small apartment. It's like the neighborhood is good, but I'm having a very small apartment, and with condominium, which is, by the way, another thing, you live always, or you have usually a fee for the apartment, and you have a fee for the building you live in, or for the condominium, which is like a gated community, and they offer like pool and churrasco places and whatnot. And there I pay maybe in total 5,500 or 6,000. And I'm thinking, okay, someone who earns 7,000, how does it work? Maybe they need, okay, an apartment in a other neighborhood that is less expensive, so they pay maybe 3,000 reais.
Yeah.
Then you have like 4,000 left, and then groceries and life insurance, or maybe you have a car. Like, it just doesn't work. Or like my daughter, she goes to a school that is bilingual, so Portuguese and English, and this is only, she doesn't even go there entire day. Like, by the way, this, I need to say that as well. There's so many things, but so many things to unpack. Usually school here is just either morning or afternoon.
Exactly.
Very, very different. Like, I went to school in the morning, then you have a break, and then afternoon, entire day. And school is free in Switzerland, right? Here, public schools don't have the best reputation. You're like, I don't know, one of 30 kids in a class and no aircon from what I've seen, and just like, not ideal. And then you have these private schools that are pricier. Obviously, you pay quite a lot. And then again, my daughter goes to first class, you pay like 6,000 reais a month. And now again, I'm thinking, someone who makes 7 to 10,000 has no chance to afford something like that. No chance, right? So like these schools that are actually a bit better, only the wealthy can afford it almost, right? So yeah, like I think for Brazilians it's difficult to survive depending on what job you have. Like, obviously not everyone earns like 5,000 or 10,000. There's maybe doctors who probably then make 40,000 or 50,000. Like in Switzerland it's way more, the gap is much closer, right? You have people who make a minimum salary 4,000, and then you have very well earners who make 10,000, and then you have like the top maybe 15, and then 20 is very, very rare, right? And then here you have like the minimum, you have like regular, you have like high earners, you have like ultra high earners, and I don't know,
billionaires.
Yeah, like those make 100,000 a month, 200,000 a month. Like, it's just like this is pretty wild. And I remember when I said, okay, minimum salary is 4,000 francs in Switzerland, and then they were thinking, I mean, makes sense that, or some people are then making 50,000 and 100,000 like here, but it's not the case. Like, you can work in a bank and make 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. Okay, so the gap it's x2, right? X2 of minimum salary, and here the gap, I mean, can be x100, right?
Exactly, yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. So yeah, it is not as cheap as people think. It works well for me, but like for Brazilians who work here, like it's really difficult. What would you say is the like best paid jobs? Because I thought like it would be like in Switzerland, it's like the lawyers would be the doctors. As I think doctors make a good amount of money, but I also met some lawyers who actually don't make good money.
It actually depends, because when you say job, let's say you are employed by someone else and are not doctors, are not lawyers, are actually people that work for companies, so directors that were graduated in engineering or something like that. this is an actual job. But when you are self-employed or you are the entrepreneur, these are the richest ones. And yeah, doctors, lawyers who owns their own law firm, serial entrepreneurs. So the guy has like 3-4 different companies, food chains.
Yeah, but yeah,
No,
entrepreneurs.
so always
yeah.
entrepreneurs.
I mean, the successful entrepreneurs.
Successful entrepreneurs. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a number out here because just to give some context, and be this person. Well, I'm not gonna call any names, but I know someone who's an engineer at one of the big companies here, Embraer. Embraer is like basically competitor to Pilatus aircraft. They build like small airplanes,
big ones here.
And engineer, a good profession and well paid, and then the famous company, he makes about 15,000 a month, which is pretty good. But then if you take these numbers into account that I said before, like 6,000 for school and then 6,000 for school, for apartment and school, then you
have nothing.
You have nothing left.
Yeah, imagine if you have 2 kids.
Imagine you have 2 kids. Imagine you have a family.
Imagine if your wife doesn't work.
I mean, yeah, there
that's
needs to be
in
public school. You're almost forced to. Yeah, I'm sorry to say that. I think public. I don't know. What is your thought on public schools?
Not good.
Not good.
It depends actually on the city. So São José dos Campos has a really good, compared to other cities in Brazil, school system, but still you can't compare to a private one.
Yeah. Do you think, or I think sometimes people in Brazil are a bit naive. I think it comes down to that maybe the education is not always the very best. Things that should be, common sense. I mean, I had to explain once to someone who is 30 years old. I had to explain that, hey, in Europe or in Switzerland, we actually don't use Brazilian reais. And it's like, I mean, it's probably a exaggeration or like a bad example, but those things, I mean, everyone should know. How does it come someone doesn't know that?
Yeah. The school system here is a bit strange. Like, we are, let's say, generalists, so we'll know a lot. No, actually, a little about a lot of things, including literature, for example. We waste a lot of time in school studying like books from old people that already died and doesn't teach you anything, instead of studying basic economics. Sexual education, the things that are essential for life, we don't learn at school.
Yeah.
We learn when it's already too late, when you got someone pregnant or when you go bankrupt, because,
Why are there so many young mothers? What do you think?
I think for the lack of good sexual education. That's, for me, that's the main one. And secondly, actually, I think that's actually just this. And also poverty as well, because to prevent getting pregnant, you need firstly to know how to, and secondly, you have to buy stuff like condoms and the contraceptional methods. The government actually gives this for free, but you have to go there in a specific place and get it. So not very optimal. It's not like going to a pharmacy and get it. I think these are the main points. And they don't think about the future.
Yeah, it's very noticeable that there are a lot of young mothers, and I mean, you cannot tell me that you want to become a mother at like 18, 19, 20 years old, because you could like do so many things there in this time frame, and I mean, you still need to figure out so many things, right? I mean, my opinion.
Yeah,
Can travel, can party, whatever, but yeah, probably oftentimes not very careful when it comes to that. Yeah. Next question.
All right.
Next question.
Moving on. Okay, so you answered that. What would be the best advice you could give to another Swiss person thinking about moving to Brazil?
Before we go into this question, just came to mind. very few people can speak English.
Yeah.
And in Switzerland, we learn English in school. We also learn French in school. And then here, this is what was probably a shock when I first came here. I remember there was a problem with my luggage at the airport, and I went to, I went to like the reception. What is it called? Like this place, whatever, at the airport.
Yeah,
to
you
ask,
have to
"Hey,
you go to the
help
company.
center. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
help
I
center.
ask, okay, what's going on? Where's my luggage? And they couldn't speak English, not a single word. And I was like, whoa, how am I gonna survive here? Like, this is gonna be tricky. And
And
this is
bear
like
in mind that-
international airport.
Exactly,
They
yeah.
couldn't speak English, so yeah, yeah. That's about that. My tip: be prepared. Be prepared for a lot of chaos. Don't expect everything to go well. Just lower your expectations. Probably it's probably better, because then you'll be pleasantly surprised, instead of going with very high expectations and then things are not working. I would probably offer him to have some calls, just to have an idea how things work and how things are different than in Switzerland. I like met a guy who lives in Rio. He's older than me, but it was actually not in the was it in the first year? Yeah, I got in contact with him, and I was very very happy to call him every now and then, because sometimes you get so frustrated because things are not going the way you want them to go, or like people do things you don't are not used to, or you think, what's going on, am I here like in the wrong movie? And then it's so good to call someone with the same mindset and mentality and background, says, hey, calm down, it's very normal, like, things will go well.
Chill.
And yeah, I just went to Sao Paulo last weekend, met a friend, a childhood friend. He was actually my neighbor in Switzerland. He lives now too in Sao Paulo. Very, very funny, actually. And this is just like, something very nice, because sometimes when you're in a different environment, and you have like people around you with like a certain mindset, certain opinions, you pick those things up. And when you're so different, you start to think, okay, what is wrong with me? Why, and then you sit together with someone from Switzerland, and I go, okay, he actually shares this opinion with me. He also thinks that they do things a bit weirdly or different. And this is I would offer my help, and hey, let's chat every now and then. That's certainly a good
It's
idea.
good.
Yeah.
So if you are Swiss and you're thinking about coming to Brazil, Martin will leave his phone number there on the screen.
I don't think so.
He will not.
No, but like, I don't know, like, if you want to visit Brazil, yeah. I have to say it was more of a thing when I was in Thailand, because for Swiss it's more attractive, whether it's for the money aspects or because like language, probably there, like, you can speak English and you will be fine. Thailand is a very popular destination for Swiss people. Brazil, less. I don't know a lot who go to Brazil for vacation, and when so, unfortunately, it's Rio. Like,
Yeah.
for like, we know Copacabana, we know soccer, we know Ronaldinho from Brazil.
Yeah.
And that's probably it. When there's so much more.
If you had the power to change just one thing about Brazil that would make your life easier, what would it be? Just one
Oh,
thing.
that's such a difficult question.
I know, that's why I made it.
That's such a difficult question. So one thing about Brazil.
Yeah, about Brazil, about Brazilians, that would make your life easier.
So I would probably have said I would change the educational system, like school, but this will not affect me. This will affect
Other generations.
Yeah, the generations after. If I could change a thing,
Toughy.
That's a very tough question. What would make my life easier?
I mean, you could say, I don't know, the time, the appointments.
But I mean, it's like if I don't have the power to change um, people.
I
right?
know,
Like
but
if
if
they
you had the power.
I like if they okay if everyone has to keep their word, as simple as that. People need to keep their word. So
Right.
when they say something, actually do it.
That's
Whether
good.
it's time, whether it's we're
An
doing
action.
this together, whether it's we're having dinner together, whether it's say and then also do it and not
Commitment,
I
basically.
think that's very typical. Have you seen these memes where where someone asks another person something like I don't remember, I cannot recall, but it was along the lines, if you ask someone, hey, can you do this for me, and you know that like you will not because you're so busy, or like the English guy says no, I'm probably not, and the German guy says no, sorry, I'm at work, and like the Brazilian is always like
Yeah.
vamos, let's do it.
We don't know how to say no.
Yeah, they cannot say no, they just say yes, but you already know like it's not gonna end out well. So yeah, say something and actually stick to that, and not then find 7 million reasons why it's not done, or why you're late, or why you couldn't do it.
Yeah, completely agree. That would make my life so much easier because I have a lot of problems with that. After living here in Brazil for a while, what's one thing Switzerland could learn from Brazil, and one thing Brazil could learn from Switzerland? The second one I already know.
Yeah, no, I think we addressed that a little bit already. Swiss could actually have some more joy, some more of this easygoing. It's not all about the work. You can also relax, and you can also have a day at the beach and not think about work. And then the opposite, obviously, as well. Like a bit more serious, a bit more work ethic.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
So a mix between the two.
yeah.
And to finalize, after everything you lived here, do you see yourself staying in Brazil long term, or do you think this is just a chapter of your life?
Depends on my daughter. If I'm gonna be very honest. If I could choose from any place, I would probably go back to Thailand and live there. I just like felt so happy there, and if I could, describe the comparatively, like Switzerland, Thailand, and Brazil. For me, it would be Switzerland work or hustle. It would be Thailand happy and joy, and then Brazil is for me chaos. It's just chaos. But I mean, obviously because I went through a divorce here in Brazil. Yeah. Obviously this is connected to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? It's like that's just how our brains work.
Yeah, it's a matter of perspective.
Now, do I want to stay here forever? Not necessarily. Like for me, it's clear. Wherever I go, like it will lead to Lada. So if that's what we decided, or where she's gonna go to school, then I will be here as well. At least for the next 10 years or 12 years, whatever, until she is out of school, until she can decide. Maybe one day she will say, okay, I want to go to Switzerland, I want to study there. I think that's a very realistic option for her. I mean, with 6-7 years old, you cannot decide, or you don't see that, right? Like economics and education, and like you're a child, like. But then maybe with 16, 18, I mean, many people, or at least when you're adult, many people here say they want to leave Brazil. And when I say I'm from Switzerland, like, what do we do here, right? Like, what do we do here? There are good things, and I love the beach. I love the climate. It's warm. It's sunny most of the time. Like again, good food. So it's not all that bad. For me, I like the Swiss mentality. I have a good network there, a very good network actually, and here not so much. So I miss that. I miss my family, obviously. Um, so I don't know where I'm going to be. Like I think it's also something that makes life a bit interesting. At least mine. So it's very unpredictable. Like most people in Switzerland, they have very straight line. You know, you go to school and then to high school and then you study and then you work and then you have family, and it's very predictable. And my life is more like, you know, roller coaster, up and down and then backwards and then up and down again. And um, I think the person I am, it will probably continue like that. I don't have like this clear path. Oh, in 5 years, this is how I'm gonna look like. I have some goals and I have some things that I want to achieve, but how the way there, or yeah, how do I look like? No idea.
Yeah, good. I mean, I completely understand. All right, that was it.
Cool. Thanks for bringing the questions. I think the questions were really good. Made me think. I'm sure we probably could have gone longer for at least
Definitely,
1 hour,
yeah.
because there's so many things to unpack, and sometimes I have like these thoughts. Oh, this is something, and then, yeah.
And I still have a lot of questions here, actually.
but yeah, I think it gave people some kind of impression, and I always say like Brazil isn't only a different country, it's a different planet, because like so many things are completely different. If I think of the streets, like the cars here versus the car in Switzerland is so different. Like you can't even compare. If you look out the window, like even the colors look different. It's like so different. Like it's literally for me a different planet, and the people. You know, I mean, we are all people, like not so different people, but it feels like a different world. It feels like a different world, and some things are very good, sometimes not so good. Some things are a struggle. Some things I like better in Switzerland. For me, very cliche. I think the grass is always greener on the other side. So when I'm here, I'm thinking of all the good things in Switzerland. When I'm in Switzerland, I'm thinking of all the good things about Brazil, you know, or the good things about Thailand. And if I were there, probably there are things that I wish, you know, would be like here or in Switzerland. But that's how we are, how we think.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I'm enjoying the adventure, and I'm just all for it. Like life is an adventure, and I much rather have this life, an adventurous life, than being this quote unquote, for me, boring, like
Yeah.
steady life.
Completely agree.
Yeah, let's wrap this up here. Thanks for hosting this episode. Hopefully we get back soon with another topic. I'm curious, like for those who listen to this one, isn't different format here. Like it's not a typical fitness and exercise and nutrition topic. Let me know what you think of that. Whether you want more of this, or whether I should just stick to what I know best. Danilo, thanks like a lot for doing this, and until the next one.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. It is always a pleasure to be here, hosting or not. It's always awesome. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
See you tomorrow in the gym to become stronger.
Yeah, please be on time.
Cheers.
Bye.